Hello everyone, welcome to Trade. Today we're going to be seeing the Nifty and Banknifty levels for 8th March, Tuesday. See, this is the daily chart of Banknifty that I've opened. We had one view. I'll be sharing the 15-minute chart also where we had prepared. We got a nice 1000-point gap down, and then even a good intraday move came. See, as of now on the daily chart, we are at a good support. There are a lot of supports coming here. I'll be showing you on the 15-minute chart. One is this. On the daily chart, we see in this area there is some support. If this today's low goes right, we could see a low of again 31,900 is also possible. Even if this is compromised, then definitely this is the only next level where we can probably look for a support, that is 30,500. Obviously I'm not telling this for tomorrow. It is just a view that we are seeing for the next few days or a week, depending on the war situation. See, if those who have seen my yesterday video, right, I did mention that I do have a personal view that the Bank Nifty could come close to this 32,000 before bouncing off, but who knew it's going to happen in a day? I obviously thought it's going to take at least 2-3 days or a week. But because of this huge gap down, we did hit the target of 32,392, and we have got a nice bounce from there. Now I'm just shifting to the 15-minute chart of Bank Nifty. See, as per our analysis yesterday, we had a view that if this level of 34,000 breaks, right, we could probably see this gap of 33,500. But unfortunately, we opened in that gap area itself, and morning we had an issue with this charts not working, and then we slipped until very close to this gap. And there was a reason for this bounce. I'll be showing you. There was a good divergence, and there was another important pivot level. Now, see, though we had this 1000-point gap down and this chart issue that we had where the charts got stuck, that's why I think we are seeing this two similar type of candles here. But still today it was a very tradable day. It was not a complicated day to trade. See, once we waited for this kind of an pullback, right, the first sign of reversal came in this candle itself, like an inverted hammer. Then we started making this inverted hammer and wicks, rejecting this higher level, and there was a huge call writing being done at 33,000. I had shared the same thing on our CosmoFeed group. So this is the graph that I took. This was shared at around 11:35. See the amount of call writing that was there at 33,000. So it was bound to fall, and break of 33,000 was not looking easy on an intraday basis. Now, if we had toggled between a 15-minute and a 5-minute chart, right, there was a beautiful rejection after this big red candle. There was no follow-up immediately on the downside, but there was no follow-up even on the long side, right? It was all candles rejecting this level of 33,073. And finally, the breakdown candle was this. On a 5-minute chart, if we had kind of followed the structure, it was also like a small head and shoulder breakdown on a 5-minute chart. This is the head, shoulder, head, shoulder, and once this breakdown came, we had a nice slip. My target was this 32,316, and the first target was on the downside was the day's low where this candle was formed. We did come to the day's low and even break it, and this was my target. But though this was my target, we had an important pivot level here. I'm just turning on the CPR now. See, these are all the CPR points that is there. This is the monthly CPR S2, where we came and exactly took support over there. The moment I saw this high wave candle, where it's a neutral candle at this monthly pivot, I cannot book my profits. Obviously didn't trade the upside, but we got a nice pullback from here. So these were the trade possibilities and the trades that we took today. Now, for getting this monthly pivot and the weekly pivot and daily pivot, you'll have to go to these indicators and type CPR. There are many CPRs which give the monthly, weekly and the daily. For example, the ones that I'm showing on the screen, these give a good these are good indicators which give the right value for monthly, weekly and the daily pivot. Obviously this indicator that I'm using, it will be up in TradingView soon. I'm still working on it, where I've put everything including the Camarilla pivot and the moving averages. It will take some time. to come on TradingView. But see, when everything is added together, the charts will look messy, but we cannot do anything. We'll have to make use of everything, right? So now coming for the trade possibilities for tomorrow, we'll just see the global market view once. See, the Dow Jones and the DAX have kind of, the European market and the American market futures have recovered. The US market has not yet opened, but the DAX, the Europe market is open, and most of the Europe markets have recovered. And see, the initial fall in the morning and the gap down was because of the crude oil hitting all-time high of almost 13-year high, having a gap up of 10%. That's the reason. Probably that is cooled off a little bit, and that's the reason we are seeing some up move in the global market as well. And coming to our SGX Nifty, we are seeing a gap up of 156 points. This could also be because of the exit poll results that's come out. Obviously, everybody would have seen what's the result. It's on the positive side for the central government, right? So that could be one reason which could impact this. So in case we get a gap up and start moving higher, there are two places where we can take resistance or fill this gap. One is, depending on the gap up, we might take resistance again here. Let me just make this a little thicker. We might take resistance over here at about 33,500. If we go into the gap, the next level of resistance is this point, that is 34,100, and then probably this entire gap being filled at 34,300. Those are the targets on the upside. And on the downside, a good shot will come only if this level breaks, that is 32,380. If that breaks, see this level, these lines what I have, right, it's based on the previous price action. I'm just going to show that it's not just some random lines that I've drawn. I've just come to an 1 hour chart so I can zoom out. See, there is a small gap here that needs to be filled. So probably if we come down, we might take support here again, 32,200. The next level is this level, that is 32,109, and below that. So this entire area can be a little choppy because there are some nice reversal points at very short distance. And obviously we also have our monthly pivot S2 where we bounced today. That should break to get a good move on the downside. See, today we have exactly bounced from that monthly pivot. So if that is broken, yeah, we can see lower levels. We also have the weekly S2 over here at 31,875. See, we do have a narrow CPR, and we do have a lower CPR ratio in indicating as per CPR. Still the market is looking bearish, but some pullback is possible until this gap boundary, or even probably to fill this gap and then go down. The other thing that I want to show you on the 15-minute chart, on the 5-minute chart is, see, this is the day when we started having that breakdown, right? Feb 23rd, when the war news came. This was a Thursday, I think the last Thursday of February, where we got that nice move on the downside. See, from there, this thick line you see is the 200 EMA. The blue line is the 50 EMA, and the red line is the 20 EMA. So from this breakdown, when this war news came and the gap down and the breakdown happened, every time we have gone, see, I have added everything. That's why the chart is looking messy, but it's clearly visible. The thick pink line is the 200 EMA, blue is 50, and the red is 20 EMA. These are the three EMAs I'll be using. See, every time we have come close to the 200 EMA, we have rejected that level, again come down. So from this gap down and this downtrend started from the war news, we have rejected the 200 EMA 1, 2, 3. This was last Thursday, a beautiful fall from here. And 4, this was recently, day before yesterday. So from when this war news came in, we have rejected this 200 EMA almost 4 times. So with this gap up and this election news, some positivity is there in the market, where there is a possibility we might come closer to the 200 EMA. So for tomorrow it will be somewhere over here, 33,769 or something. So we'll have to be careful at this period. See, I'm not saying that again we are going to reverse tomorrow. There is a possibility we'll come close to the 200 EMA. It can even break. So at this level, we'll have to be careful. In case we have got a nice entry, we can book our profits. We'll have to see the kind of price action that is there. There is a strong possibility that we could slip. This election is just local news, right? But the global market and the financial markets are looking weak because of this war. So whatever pullback we get on the upside can be sold into. Let me just get rid of these. So when we come closer to the 200 EMA, we'll have to see if it breaks or probably take resistance at 200 EMA, and again we start slipping further. That is the stuff that I have for Bank Nifty. I'll just look at the open interest for Bank Nifty. Open interest is kind of showing a oversold scenario. See, you just see the change in OI for today. This bottom part is the change in OI. We absolutely see no increase in put selling. The red lines have not at all increased for today, the change in OI. It's only the green lines that have increased. All are the call sellers have come in. So a small news or some kind of a news, or the global market recovering a little bit, or the oil prices drop, this can lead to a good short covering, and a nice up move also can come. So that's based on the open interest. As of now, it is looking bearish, but the scenario can change in the morning. Now let's just look at Nifty. See, even Nifty bounced off from a pretty important weekly pivot. See, I have all the pivots. It looks a little messy, but I know what it is. So when you add in the chart a weekly pivot, you will see it. So after this initial chart issue where the charts were stuck, right, we dipped, got a nice bounce, and again fell and took support at this weekly S2. So let me just turn off this mess and see. Nifty today whole day it was kind of a sideways move because it was between these levels, between 15,946 and 15,740. So anything lower Nifty, if it breaks this level of 15,740, probably we can see 15,527. And in case we break this level, right, of 15,940, we might come to retest this level of 16,136. Nifty breaking the 16,000 mark itself is a pretty significant that the market is on a bearish side. Now, how I got this line is based on the hourly chart. When I zoom out, this is where I've taken the support based on this price action. And you can see the last time we were in this region, right, we were so choppy in the sense like so sideways from June 9th, June 21 until 2nd August, almost a month. June, July, August, almost 1.5 months we were in this range between 15,948 and 15,500, right? We have come back to that range, so we'll have to see how the price action reacts over here. Again, will we go and get stuck in this kind of a mode, or will get a much quicker bounce, or is there a further breakdown? Obviously everything depends on the price action, but the next level of support is definitely over here around 15,500. We saw the previous price action, right? And looking at the open interest for Nifty, see, again in Nifty it's the same thing. It's looking like an oversold market. You see the change in OI for the put side, it's hardly anything, and it's only the call sellers that have come in even today, with a significant resistance at 16,000, and even 15,800 and 15,900 have added, the call writing has been added. See, if the global market recovers, right, in the afternoon it was around minus 400, and the European markets were also lesser, around 300, 400. If the US market and the global market close on a positive note, and our SGX Nifty continues to remain green, and if the oil prices drop with this election news, with some positive news in this election, we could see some short covering if the gap up holds. Now, assume in Bank Nifty, see, we have so many reversal points. One is this previous day high R1, second is this point, and this gap fill of 34,300. So we are getting a gap up, right? So we'll have to see if this gap up holds at these levels, R1 previous day high or gap, probably a gap up till here, holds at this level. If it holds, yeah, then probably we can see higher levels, this gap can get filled. If we see some kind of a reversal over here and the OI starts building up, right, like how we shared in this group today, that showing resistance at 33,000, if OI keeps building that way, probably there is a good chance we might reverse again on the downside. So that's it for Nifty and Bank Nifty. Hope tomorrow we can make some money again.